IELTS was one of the hardest exams in my life. It was not helpful at all. Some advice is how to pass IELTS. To register the exam first, but it didn't help me. It was my first time. When I entered the exam, I really knew these questions. Day, guys. Hi guys. Welcome to my channel. This is the video where I'm gonna talk about the IELTS preparation. Honestly, it's actually the video that's guides by me, like how I passed the IELTS 3 times and how people should pass the IELTS and what should they do, what they shouldn't do, and etc. Honestly, IELTS is one of the hardest exams of English. I didn't pass any other exams of English, but I think the IELTS is much more stressful than any other because even the scores, look at even if you get 32 from listening, and it could be 33, and these are two scores that get the different bands. That's why it's really important to prepare really good to gain higher band. And though I think that the system of scoring in general, giving the score of IELTS exam is really hard. As an example, the TOEFL or any other exam, it's easy because it's much more easy because it shows the score that you get actually, while the IELTS gives the band. So going to the preparation, I actually passed personally 3 times. The IELTS was one of the hardest exams in my life when I passed it first time, but I didn't give in a lot of meaning to that. I thought it can be good if I'm gonna watch the films as the listening and read just sci-fi books as the reading and write some essays, also to read just some essays and to just speaking as recording the video. But it was not helpful. In my experience, I can tell that it was not helpful at all. Passing second time, I had no choice other than just increase my band because I had to do that in order to apply to foreign universities. So I just prepared for 2 months, 1.5 even, where I just tried to get 6.5 even, because my first IELTS was like this. It was 5.5, and I was really shocked by reading. It was 4.5, and then I just increased it to 6.5. My listening was 7 and reading 5.5, which was a big thing for me. The same was the last one. I passed it after 1.5 years. Recently, I got 7.5 and my listening is 9, and speaking is 7.5, while my reading also get better. It is 6.5. But all over this exam, I think my writing was one of the not flexible one, because it was better of me to write an essay than just guess the answers in the reading. And so going to the part where I can give the recommendations and give some advices how to pass IELTS and what should you do, what should you don't do. Honestly, it's one of the hardest process of it because it's really stressful when you don't know what band you can get. So going back to the level when you just learned English and you have to pass IELTS. Honestly, I think, and it is really better to know your level. People think that they can pass IELTS for 7.0 or 7.5 when they have B1, but it's impossible, guys. That is impossible because even though you will learn the words that are really important in IELTS, it can't be helpful to pass IELTS at for the level that you want. That's why it is my recommendation is to know your current level. How can you just pass IELTS mock test? They can be online and free in websites as 𝐸𝐞𝐫𝐬𝐽. Here I'm gonna show some websites also, and these are websites where you can pass mock test and see your result. After how you can see the result, you know your current level. Doing the speaking, if there is another friend that you have who's preparing for IELTS, you can do the speaking, or there are some websites that you can do speaking for a band as 𝐸𝐞𝐫𝐬, and 𝐸𝐸𝐫𝐬 is one of the and 𝐈𝐿TS-JG, I know. These are the sites where the examiner is online. I mean, the AI is your examiner, and I always recommend to do not do the AI, like ChatGPT as the AI for the speaking. So firstly, you can know your level from that website, and do not use ChatGPT as your level, because ChatGPT always lowers your level. Even though you will have 7.5, they will the ChatGPT will decrease that to 6 or 6.5. It is true actually. It can just take 1 or 0.5 your score band. So first thing that you can do is just to know your level. What is your current level? Identify that. And I always say people to register the exam first, and only then just do everything, the preparation, everything. Because when you have a goal that you set, it is better to prepare. In my case, it is always like that. If I don't see the goal, I don't even prepare. First time I registered, but I regret it. I regret because now I don't regret, but that time I regretted for that because I just registered, but I didn't prepare well. Second time I registered and I prepared 2 weeks intensively. Last time I registered and I prepared 1 month intensively. I think preparation can be better and intensive when you register the exam first. Of course, you can just change the exam date then when you have like 2 weeks, right? So it can be better for you. So this is the advice that I give: just register to the exam first. And the third one is identify your strengths and weak sides. What I mean by this is that when you pass that reading or listening, you have to know what sides are you are good at, and what sides are your weaknesses. Because when I was passing my IELTS, I always thought like, oh yes, the same exam, the same structures will work on everybody, but not. The structure, the preparation will not work on everybody. Even some tricks and tips will not work on every person. So every candidate is really different. That's why I think it is really better to know what are your weaknesses. And this is actually advice that I get from the examiner of an IELTS exam, and he passed the IELTS for several times, like 9 or 10, and his band is 8.5. The honest thing is that only reading was 8.5, everything other was 9.0. So it's like oh my gosh. So it is to prepare actually depending on your exam date, because when you have a long time period, then you can just prepare and strengthen your weaknesses, work on weak sides. As an example, if you are not good at writing and speaking, then you can focus on them, so you can get higher band on that as well. But if you have a short period of time, it's better to prepare it's better to strengthen your strong sides. As an example, if your reading and listening is really strong, like you don't have problems with them, then you even though you don't have problems, you have to focus on them. But doesn't mean that you shouldn't focus on writing and speaking. You have to, but more focus, like 70 to 30 I have to give to the reading and listening. Because IELTS is actually like people pass IELTS for their application, and for the application you need always really good high bands. That's why it's better to pass for the high score, focusing on your weakness or your strong sides, depending on the time. In my case, it was listening and speaking, my strong sides. While writing was real pretty good, but I can't say that it was that much good as my listening and speaking. I was really good at speaking. I was good at using the words, but I was bad at identifying the information on the text, or just knowing the synonym, paraphrase verb of it, form of it. So I was bad at reading. I was honestly really average at writing. But other two sides were really good, and I focused on them mostly, doing listening every single day. Guys, another thing is that weakness, strength is about not only about the section, it is about the task as well. What I mean by this is that when you pass the IELTS, as we already said, you have to focus on the fields, sections like reading and writing that is bad. But about the task, Some people are really good at listening, but they don't realize that because their listening button is so low because of the task. In my case, it was multiple choice. Every time when I met multiple choice in part 2 and 3, it was really hard for me to do that because I mostly focused on the question because I didn't have enough time to read all the question and given things. So I was focusing on the reading and the task. I had to listen to the recording, right? But and thing was that I focused mostly on the text, like task, not on recording. And it was my problem because after how my tutor said to me that I have to focus mostly on the speech, she said just try to focus on the speech. Then she didn't show me the tasks. She showed just for me the recording. Like she just turned on the recording and I just listened, and she told me to retell that. When I retelled that, I got that I didn't get anything. I got some things, but not as much as I expected. That's why I then decided to do these tasks, like this exercise, every single day. Just focusing on the recording, turning on the recording, but looking at one point and just listening to all of the things and retelling that. Every 30 seconds I was retelling that, and it helped me. Then I was doing the things like listening, not only in the really silent places. I did also in noisy places, and I did on the way, which really helped me back then. Talking about the reading as well, there is some trick, right, which helped me about matching headings and matching information. I was always spending a lot of time on that because I firstly read the headings saying matching headings. Then I did matching information, but the last time I did them together because as I got that when you can read both of them and both of the tasks and then remember that a little bit after when you read the text, if you find any names, any information, you have to just eliminate that, or you can just match that with another paragraph, right? And it's the same with matching names, authors, and something like that. Actually, these all tricks are depending on your problems. My problem was just with multiple choice, matching headings, information, and names. And in writing, my problem was lack of words. And then the structure was a problem. So I learned the specific structures for my writing. This writing was really hard for me in the beginning, but over time it got better. I actually prepared for the writing only in 2 weeks and week and a half because back then I had sessions, had exams, I couldn't do anything a lot. On writing, I read a lot of other essays that banded as 8.5, 8 and 8.0. And honestly, guess what? I actually learned a lot of things from that. I had a specific structure for maps. I had a specific structure for the graphs, lines, and everything else. I had a specific structure for the cycle. And I had the specific structure for task 1 and task 2. These were really good and they helped me really good. Talking about speaking, just speak every single day, guys, because my biggest problem was the fact that I didn't focus on my speech, academic speech. I mean, I was talking back then, recording the video, but it didn't help me. It was my first time. But third time, like when I passed third IELTS for 7.5, I got 7.5 from speaking because I did speaking with 1 and 2 girls and with my tutor during 3 months, 2 months, 1.5 even. And we were doing the speaking every single day. We were there was no topic that I didn't know. I knew everything. And the point is that when I entered the exam, I really knew these questions. When I entered the exam, there was like I don't remember all of these things, but the part 2 was about the thing that you broke and you tried to fix that. And I answered this question with that girl and with my tutor for several times, and I did know that I have a specific topic to talk about. And it's the same with part 3 and part 1. I had the same topics. I actually did know what should I talk about. I knew the answer. And I had some connection good words, starting and ending words that I could use in that. So I think the best thing that you can do is practice, and do not practice only one topic. Practice all topics that have in the world. Ecology, economics, psychology, yes, or even the little things like the argument had between your brother and you, even that. Talk on everything. As many topics as you know, it is better. It's really better. These are actually my recommendations, and the thing I recommend about the day, like the week before the exam. The week before the exam, everyone focus on only exam. What I mean, delete all the social media if that disturbs you. In my case, it was that because I'm a big fan of K-pop. As you know, the K-pop industry has a lot of news in one day, and I was just reading everything. I was just watching every concert, every show, interview. I was addicted with Chorus and Hype and BTS. That's why I couldn't get it from my phone. And this was a problem. I spent around 10 hours on my phone. And then even it's 4, it is already time. So I just deleted all the social media, TikTok, Instagram, but YouTube I left that because I need to watch some videos about IELTS. And guess what? I prepared every single day. I was writing as many essays as I could, around 5, 10, 12. I did as many listening tests and reading tests as I could do during the day. And I did speaking with a lot of people, with one girl, with second girl, and with my tutor, and alone. And I was learning the words by flashcards. This is actually a really good method. So then I passed my week. This is the same what you have to do. Just delete social media, and for a while, just say your friends to do not talk to you, maybe, because I just isolated myself from everybody. If it actually disturbs you, if it doesn't, you shouldn't do that. And focus on how many tests you do. Also, the mistakes. Without recovering the mistake, without seeing what is wrong with your essay, what is wrong with the generally band, you can't go on. I did analyze everything, and then I could understand. Oh, it was spelling, and I did a lot of spelling of numbers, of names, of animals, of everything else, and it was the best. So it is better to analyze it and then increase your band. If it's 1 week, even if it's 1 week left. What should you do when you have 1 day before IELTS? The day before IELTS, people say, do not do nothing. And first time when I passed IELTS, I did nothing. But it is better to do 1 mock test, like non-stop 3 hours, 3 sections, and then speaking with your tutor or with your friend. As I did from 9 till 12, listening, reading, and writing, task 1, task 2, I saw my band. But before 1 day for the IELTS, my last IELTS, it was like my listening was 4.5, and I was shocked. I really wanted to cry. I thought, it doesn't help at all? It didn't help at all? I was shocked, yes, but it doesn't mean that you can't get the band that you want on the day of exam. On a real exam, I mean. So just do mock tests, 4 sections and 1 mock test. After how you see band, just think about, analyze that, and just think about the things that you can do. But I actually did not only mock tests, I actually did some repetition of the phrases and the words. I did spelling, I did a lot of things, like little things, right? The day of exam, D-Day, guys. What should you do on the day of exam? If the day exam starts in the morning, even starts in the evening, do not focus on everything, on anything else exam. So it means my exam had to start at 9, but I had to get there by 8:30. When I was looking for the hour, it was around 4 a.m. and I got up and I ordered a taxi for 5, and I get there at 7. I had literally like 2 hours left before my exam. I just repeated all the phrases, all the structures that I could use on my writing test 1 and test 2. I repeated all the words like flashcards. I did spelling, I did 1 listening test, and while I was in the car, I was listening to the recordings of an IELTS exam, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and I was experiencing that. Because of the fact that my main exam was in the morning, but speaking was in the evening, I didn't focus on the speaking a lot. But then, after the real exam, I felt really good because I was prepared for the exam, generally. And oh, it smells so bad. And after how I passed my main part, I focused only on reading. It means that I did reading. I'm so sorry, speaking. I did speaking with my tutor, with 2 girls, and I did speaking alone. I did speaking. I did look for the topics that I can get from the speaking, and what else was that? I looked for a lot of other new words and topics. I spoke only in English and I relaxed because my main exam finished at 12 o'clock while my speaking was at 6. Oh my gosh. I felt so a little bit tired, but I was energized because of the fact that I can pass the exam now. I think, guys, we have to focus to that side, like the sun is shining now. So let's look for that side. And here's really good view. Look at this. Oh, we can't focus on that because my eyes are hurting. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, this is the tips and tricks that I can give about the IELTS. I'm so grateful that I can give these tips and tricks now, because back then when I just knew about IELTS, I was like looking for others' videos when they gave such an advices. I was thinking that I could give this one day, and it was one of my dreams, like little dreams, and I think it came true. So I can give advices and tips and tricks about the IELTS, and as a person who passed it 3 times, I have actually a lot of experience on that. If you have any questions about IELTS, if you have any questions about some parts, you can message, you can just leave the comments under this video, and I will read it and I will record any video about the IELTS. If you want to see such videos, just comment it or just like the video, and please subscribe. Don't watch it without the subscription, please. Okay, so thank you guys for watching this video. I think these all tips and tricks and generally my advices were really helpful for you. And if you're passing IELTS, just let me know. Comment below. Bye guys, love you so much.